So welcome to my class on SPSS, entering data into SPSS. I'm going to be showing you in this video how to enter data into SPSS using a simple questionnaire. So in this video, I'll be showing you how to start or how to begin using the software, okay? So SPSS means Statistical Package for the Social Scientists. It means Statistical Package for the Social Scientists, okay? So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use SPSS to enter data, okay? So let's start with launching SPSS. Now, I already have SPSS 20 version 20 in my system. So I'm going to do this. I've already installed that into my system. So all I have to do is to get SPSS launched. So I'm going to do this. Double tap on it, okay? And this is me launching my SPSS. Like I said earlier on, I'm using version 20 of SPSS. So once I have opened the SPSS window, you would notice here that there are two views. In SPSS, you have a data view, and in SPSS, you have a variable view. So you can move just by a click of each of them or either of them. You can move from data view to variable view, okay? As you can see, I can switch from data view to variable view. Now, let me tell you, in entering data into SPSS, that entering of data is done in the variable view. So whatsoever result it is in the variable view, you enter the variable names, and thereafter, after entering the variable names in the variable view, you would come over, the variable names would automatically in SPSS reflect in the data view. So your data can now be entered into the data view. So unlike some other statistical software, you don't just start entering data into SPSS. So the data is first of all represented in variables using the variable view. So the first place you come to is the variable view, where you would enter the variable names and automatically they will reflect in the data view. And once you are done entering the variable names in the variable view, you quickly go to the data view, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, in this video, let's quickly look at my desktop. So at my desktop, I'm going to go through, I'm going to open this questionnaire. So I have prepared a little questionnaire, something that looks like a little questionnaire for analysis. So I'm going to be entering this information. So this is just like a questionnaire on smoking and health impact. So this questionnaire aims to study the effect of smoking on the health of people in society. Now, I'm assuming that there are 6 questions to be analyzed in this particular questionnaire, ranging from 1 to 6. Smoking can cause lung cancer. Smoking can cause immune system deterioration. Smoking can cause body odor. Smoking can cause memory loss. Smoking can cause brain diseases. And smoking can also cause sleeplessness. So in this particular questionnaire, it is assumed that it was administered to 20 persons, okay? At random, it was administered to 20 persons. And this questionnaire, when administered to 20 persons, based on the Likert scale here, strongly disagree, disagree, agree, and agreed, strongly agreed. It is assumed that the following was obtained. That is, for smoking, 3 persons strongly disagreed, 3 persons disagreed, 6 persons agreed to that item, and 8 persons strongly disagreed on that item. So I'm going to be using this questionnaire for the analysis. Now let's come back to SPSS. Okay? So remember, I told you that there are 2 views in SPSS, the data view and the variable view. So we are going to begin with the variable view. So I'm going to come over to the variable view. Remember, it is in your variable view you enter the variable names. So I'm going to simply call my variable names questions 1 to 6. So I'm going to start with using Q1 to represent the first variable, and I'll move over to the next variable, I'm going to call it Q2. I'm going to come back to what you have there. So let's just put up all the variable names. Q3, question 3, okay? And I'm going to come over to Q4 for question 4. And I'll come over to Q5 for question 5. And finally, Q6 for question 6, okay? So once you've entered, in this case, my variables are assumed to be named questions 1 to 6. Now, once you enter each variable in the variable view, automatically all these other subheadings or titles will quickly pop up, okay? So once you enter, before entering the variable Q1, all these will be blank, but as soon as you enter the variable Q1, automatically you would have type showing you numeric by default, width will show you 8 by default, decimals will show you 2 by default, label, values, missing, colon, align, measure, and row would all come out, okay? Now, take note of the fact that all of these are adjustable, but in this video, my concern will not be with adjusting any of these, meaning that I'm not going to be adjusting the type. If I want to move away from type, I could move to any other type. If I want to move away from numeric as my type, my variable type, I could move to comma, dot, and any other one, but I'm going to let it stay the way it is. So all my variables are numeric, and I'm going to leave them that way in this video. Now, also you have width, which is 8 by default, and you have decimals, which is 2 by default, okay? So I'm going to let all these settings stay, but my particular interest will be on labels and values, okay? So once you have entered the variable name in the variable view, you would quickly come over to values. Now, under values, I'm going to highlight again just to take you back to my questionnaire, smoking and health impact, SHI. Now, once you have opened the variable view and you've entered the names of each variable into the variable view, I would advise you come back to your questionnaire. Now, in your questionnaire, you will notice for this particular questionnaire that you have a Likert scale comprising strongly disagreed, SD, disagreed, D, A for agreed, and SA for strongly agreed. So I'm going to go back to the questionnaire and look at each of these. Now take note, I'm going to be using in this particular video the following. So SD will be 1. I'm going to code every strongly disagreed result to be 1, and I'm going to code D to be 2. I'm going to code A, that is agreed, to be 3, and finally I'm going to code strongly agreed to have a value of 4. So this is my Likert scale comprising strongly disagreed to agreed, ranging from 1 to 4. Now once you have done that, it means you can now come over to what we were doing under values. So after entering your variable names, quickly come over to values. Now what would you be doing under values? Once you click on the first question, once you click on values under the first question, you would notice a dialog box coming up called value labels. Now in this dialog box, you will find value as well as label. So what you are going to be doing will be to put the value corresponding to each item in the Likert scale. So for strongly disagreed, remember we had a value of 1. So I'm going to write here 1 and put under label strongly disagreed, okay, SD. And once I do that, I'm going to click add, and it automatically comes into this pane. Now, once I am done with that, I'm going to go back to the next one, which is in this case 2. And what does 2 as a value correspond to? It corresponds to disagree. So disagree is denoted by D, so I'm going to click add. I'm going to come over again and put here 3, which stands for agreed, okay? And I'll add again. And then finally, I'm going to put 4, which stands for strongly agreed, SA, and I'm going to add. Once I'm done coding the Likert scale, I would come over and click on OK. Now, once you've clicked on OK, for you not to repeat the same thing, if indeed each question has the same Likert scale or obeys like the same Likert scale, all you have to do to save time is just to click on copy. So come out from here, come over again, and then right click on your cursor and click copy. Okay, so once you click copy, come to 2, right click again and click paste. The code will just automatically paste itself. Do the same thing here, click paste. So I'm going to do the same thing. Instead of searching each of them all over again, I will just paste the codes. So you can paste the codes and this will save you time, especially under circumstances where you have so many questions. In this case, we had just 6 of them. So there are cases where you could have up to 50 questions, 20 questions, 15 questions. You would need to copy your coding rather than searching for each of them again and again, the codes that you already know. So once you are done coding, you will quickly come over to the next view. Now, what have we done in the variable view, guys? We have put in the variable names in the variable view, and we've also put in the coding of our values. So once you are done putting in the variable names and the coding for your values, quickly come over to the data view. You will immediately see that all the variables we entered side by side, the values through coding, are now over here in the data view, meaning that since we have named our variables, we are now set to enter data. Now, how would you enter data? All you have to do is to come back to what we have here. Now, look at question 1. Take a good look at question 1, the summary of the questionnaire. You know, when the questionnaire is administered to 20 people, at the end of the day, you are going to be getting, for each question, you are going to be getting a total of 20 responses. So let's start with question 1. For question 1, after gathering the 20 questionnaire, we were able to discover that 3 persons were of the opinion that they strongly disagreed that smoking can cause lung cancer. 3 persons disagreed, 6 persons agreed, and 8 persons strongly agreed. So what are we going to do? 3, 3, 6, and 8. Remember, strongly disagreed means was assigned the value 1, disagreed was assigned the value 2, agreed was assigned the value 3, and strongly agreed was assigned the value 4. So what would you be doing? It means that since 3 persons strongly disagreed on that item, there will be 3 ones. So I'm going to come over here to my data view and put here 1 3 times under question 1. 1, 1. Now again, you will notice that 3 persons also disagreed. So I'm going to come over and put 2. Since 2 stands for disagreed, I'm going to put 2 for the 3 persons who disagreed. Then if you come over here, you would have 6 for agreed for question 1. So it means since agreed has a value of 3, there will be 6 trees. So I'm going to come over here and put 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 6, and 3. There are now, okay, so I'm going to put 6 trees. So I have 6 trees. Now the remaining will be 8 strongly agreed. So I'm going to put 8 of them, 4 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, making a total of 20 observations. Okay, so I will do the same thing for question 2. If you come over to question 2, you will notice 1 person agreed. So it means that 1 person strongly disagreed rather. So it means that we'll come over here and put, for disagreed, we'll put just 1 and move to the next. How many persons strongly, how many persons disagreed on that item? There are 4 persons who disagreed on that item. So you come over here and put 2 4 times. Okay, since 2 is the value for disagreed. Now, how many persons agreed? We have 6 of them. So I'm going to come here, since disagreed, strongly agreed or agreed rather, since agreed has 3 as its value, I'm going to put 6 trees here since 6 persons agreed. So I'm going to put 3 6 times. Okay, then finally 4 will take the remaining up to 20. Okay, so it is that simple to enter data into SPSS from a questionnaire. Okay, it is that simple to enter data into SPSS from your questionnaire. So how many 4s do we have? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so you can go ahead, open your SPSS and do same for questions 3, 4, 5 and 6. But this is basically how to enter data from a questionnaire into SPSS. So you try out the same routine for 3, 4, 5 and 6 until some other time when I will be showing you how to analyze questionnaire data. I will see you in my next video. Thank you very much for watching. This is basically how to enter data into SPSS from a questionnaire. So in the next video I'll be showing you how to analyze data from questionnaire entered into SPSS. Thank you very much.